Police officer puts his or her life on the line, but the danger increases when you work undercover. And for the next 5 nights, you're going to meet 3 former undercover officers. And now they can reveal their identity, fairly confident they are safe, despite threats which still exist.
Undercover narcotics officer arrived on the scene, setting up for body mic.
I hope you're picking me up or not.
I sure am, John.
Hello.
Let's face it, if you're working undercover and you begin to make undercover transactions, people eventually have to be arrested, even though you don't make the arrest. Your paranoia builds. The people on the street only have one face to remember. The undercover officer has a ton of faces to remember.
You look over your shoulder a lot. When you testify in court, and then go say on, I've done it. I've testified in court in a suit and tie and then gone to the office, changed into this undercover garb, and then made a buy. And you wonder how many persons were in that courtroom who might have seen you.
The information I got were that different people had different amounts of contracts out on me. First they started out small because they thought I was an informant and not an actual police officer, so there were a couple $100 contracts there. I said, they're worth more than that, you know. And then once they found out that I really was, in fact, a police officer, of course, the price went up.
One informant says the price on Vicky's head went to $15,000. Now, for that kind of money, someone was supposed to take a high-powered rifle and look for the right time to avenge and silence the narc. Every undercover agent has to have a scam, not only to make the deals work, but for survival.
It's salesmanship in reverse. You have to have a good song and dance to begin with. If you can't talk the scam, if you can't present yourself to be believable, you're not going to get very much farther.
You don't have to be a very suave or swashbuckling type guy. Everybody has this very romantic image of the guys, but some of your best undercover agents would probably look like nerds to most people.
What made you so convincing as an undercover agent? Sweet, angelic look?
I acted Spacey. Spacey Casey, some people referred to me as. And I think that really helped because sometimes, especially when I first started, and people would say, hey, Casey. And I'd sit there. You know, they weren't talking to me. I'm Vicky, you know. And they'd say, hey, Casey. And I'd say, oh, yeah, that's me. And I'd say, huh? And I just acted like a space queen, you know. And I think that helped me a lot, more than anything, is that I just acted like a big airhead.
Vicki Nolan was under deep cover for 1 full year in the St. Charles, Missouri area. Kenneth Cloud, now special agent in charge of the Drug Enforcement Agency in St. Louis, undercover for 5 years in Chicago, Gary, Indiana, Detroit. John Corona, St. Louis Police Department, undercover for 13 years, making 1,400 to 1,500 undercover buys, including arson contracts and murder contracts. Corona had at least 7 aliases. One day or one moment, he was Sal, then Vito, then Jesse.
You have to do a little pre-thought, naturally, before you go into an undercover thing. You have to, if you want to use the word program yourself, who are you today, what's your scam, where you're from, who you're operating with, who are your friends.
When you got eye-to-eye contact with that violator and you're not convincing, you're going to have a problem, and that problem could be fatal.
Tomorrow night, Federal Agent Cloud will tell you how he almost made one of those fatal mistakes.